The tick-tick. I was about 16 when it happened. I didn't know what to make of it back then, but I'm sure now that what I heard was this supernatural being called the tick-tick. That night, my sister and I were alone in the house. Our parents were out of town and weren't due to be back until the day after. My sister Sue was sewing in the living room, which was located by the front door. I was in my bedroom, which was in the back portion of the house. It was probably midnight. I always kept my top window open at night because I liked the cool fresh air inside my room. I was reading a book when I heard the faint sound of a bat. It was a shrilly kind of ick. 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 Creepy. But I wouldn't be surprised if there were bats in the area. This place used to be woodland that was turned into a subdivision. One time, when I was a kid, I saw a bat-nailed spread eagle in front of another kid's house. His uncle and his friends had caught it and thought it would be cool to display it outside for everyone to see. That's how I knew that there were bats in our place. I was surprised when my sister suddenly entered my room without knocking. She had brought her sewing with her and continued to sew on my bed. "I heard some bats," I told Sue. "I know," she replied. "Did you hear them too?" I asked her. "Yes," she answered. "But they were near my window," I said. "How could you have heard them?" "They were out front too," Sue said. "They seemed to be circling the house." Half an hour later, Sue gathered her sewing materials and went to her room. I then lay on my bed and soon fell asleep. I didn't really think much about that night after that. It wasn't until about 5 years later, on Halloween, when my friends and I were telling each other ghost stories, that I remembered the incident. The talk had turned to the so-called tick-tick that had been circling the neighborhood 5 years ago. They said that during that time, 3 of our neighbors were pregnant. All 3 lived close to my house. One even lived next door to us. The other one lived across the street and the last one was about 2 houses away. Some of the neighbors had said they had seen a large bird-like creature flying about. You knew it was a tick-tick because it made a sound like a bat. A sort of shrilly ick. 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 One of the pregnant women's husbands had seen a pair of hands reaching in from the window late at night. It could have been a robber, but why reach in from the window instead of breaking into the house? In the old days, a tick-tick would perch up on the roof and extend its long thread-like tongue down into the pregnant woman's belly. The tongue would enter the belly button and devour the fetus inside the womb. The saliva seems to have some kind of anesthetic effect because the woman doesn't seem to wake up while this monstrosity is being done to her. If the husband does wake up, he should immediately cut off the tongue. The next day, whoever among their neighbors seems to be unable to talk is surely the tick-tick in human form. That's how they get busted. However, that was back when people lived in the barrios, in nipa huts with thatched roofs. Today, the concrete houses inside a subdivision make it a little harder for the tick-tick's tongue to break through the solid roof. I guess that's why they just try to find an open window instead. "Well," I said, "thank God the sound I heard seemed distant. It means it was far away, right?" My friends looked at me and I could feel the hair on my arm stand on end as they told me. See, that's the thing about the tick-tick. It's really deceptive. If it sounds close, it's actually far. If it sounds far, it's very, very close.